There has been a lot of attention on the effects of the pandemic on the US labor market. However, not enough has been done vis-a-vis immigrants, how they have been affected by the pandemic and their role in the US labor market. A notable exception is a Pew Research report, which looked at the immigrant unemployment picture. And what they found is that the unemployment rates and natives and immigrants were comparable at around 4% pre-pandemic. But both of those numbers rose sharply after the pandemic, and immediately after the pandemic, the natives were at around 12.5%, while the immigrants were much higher, above 15%. The good news, however, is that there have been recovery on all fronts, with the Q2 2021 numbers coming down all the way to around 6% for both the natives and the immigrants. An important difference between the natives and the immigrants is, unlike the natives, of course, immigrants often have jobs which are tied to their visas. And so in a bad situation, when they lose their jobs, they may have to go back to their home country, or they may want to go back to their home country. So what that means is that you have an exit of people from the US labor market in that situation. One of the things that we talked about is immigrant unemployment rate. And we were worried that it was pretty high. But when you look at the factor that actually there are people who are exiting the labor market altogether because they went back to their home nations, actually that factor by itself tends to drive down the unemployment rate. So what you have is perhaps the real, in a sense, rate that would have occurred if the immigrants stayed back in the US would have been even higher. So in a way, as bad as it is, perhaps the Pew unemployment number does not fully capture the true pain of the immigrants in terms of employment loss. For more information, I would suggest that you look at my Regional Economist article on this topic.